It's Monday night. Welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. My name is Kathryn Kauffman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is where we discuss what and who we are in this journey called life. Big shout out to my Monday night buddies over here on Instagram, KYGS Writer, my Monday night buddy, also Miss Joy Hall. Good to see you guys, and I can't pronounce it. Sahari, I can't pronounce it. Please let me know how to pronounce that. But good to see you here tonight. Awesome to see you guys all joining in the chat. I did put a link at the beginning of the chat so that you could have like an instructional video to tonight's technique. Big shout out to Paige Denise over here on YouTube and Ina Thompson. Yeah, Ina, the videos weren't playing real well this evening. It's the feed is a little bit choppy. So my suggestion is to restart your device. I restarted the computer and it's working a little bit better now. So let me know, you guys, if I know Ina's sound is breaking up. Is that happening for the rest of you, or does Ina need to restart her device? Special shout out to Peggy Thompson. Thank you. And Joshua Preston. Wesley, good to see you. And Deborah Hoskins, big shout out to you on YouTube. Glad to see you here on a Monday night. We're going to go over emotional freedom technique, which is also called EFT, which is also called the tapping solution. It's a really good little technique to learn and use, and it's really been proven to help quite a bit with anxiety, PTSD, and we'll go over a lot of other things that it helps with as well. Big Magical Monday shout out to my buddy Melissa Begley and her sidekick Miss Cleo. Big kisses to you guys. I have some business to wrap up with you guys, and shout out to Teresa Cavero over here on Instagram. Happy Monday night. Yes, it is a happy Monday night. Now, as many of you know, okay, Janice says it's breaking up on YouTube and Facebook. I will email Restream at the end of the show and let them know. Not sure what I can do about it on this end because I checked everything. The signal looked good. And so I'm not sure. They'll just have to help me. Okay, so Peggy says, sound not cutting out, but background is rough. Ghost in the machine. Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening tonight other than the network is having technical difficulties. I have MetroNet, which is really quite better than the other service in town. I won't mention the name, but you know, I'm sure there are still times when it's going to be off. Hey to Shannon Pate Miller. Hopefully the recorded portion, because like on my feed, I'm not seeing any kind of faltering, except when I played the intro video. When I played the intro video, it was broken up and it faltered. But right now, everything on my end looks pretty good. So I don't know what to do. But I will definitely put that in the show notes to go to Restream and see if they have any suggestions for the future. Okay, back to business. A lot of you that follow my page know that I'm having surgery this Thursday, and that's going to interrupt a lot of the stuff that I do for you guys on Facebook and YouTube and whatnot. So my question to you guys for the daily astrological influences, would you rather see scheduled posts on Psychic Academy Club? Or would you rather have them all lumped together like in one post to save over the week? Let me know which actually works better for you guys. Big shout out to my son over here on Instagram, Michael Lawrence. Good to see you. Hope things are going okay in Paducah. and filming is going okay and going good. Let us know in the comments on Instagram what your film company is doing here lately, and also leave a link to the film page. And I would love for you to leave that over on Facebook as well on the threads so that people can see that. So Ina says prayers for your surgery. Thank you. I'm sure things will be good and all will be well, and we'll get this taken care of, and it's just going to be a slow process on healing up, as things, are sometimes at this age. You don't snap back as quick as you used to. Oh, thank you very much. But anyway, let me know, which would you rather have? And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, every day on Facebook, actually I put it on all 3 pages of my Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram, there's a daily free moon astrology forecast. And what it tells you is the basic influence that the moon has on the environment for the day, and kind of guide you through what you should be doing to navigate that energy. Let's say maybe the moon is in Scorpio and tempers are flaring for the day. Knowing that going into the day helps when you get encountered by it, and instead of reacting, raw to it, you're kind of thinking in the back of your mind, okay, Kathryn said this was Scorpio, maybe that person is getting influenced in a negative way today. And it kind of helps you manage these rough spots and make the most out of the best days possible. So it's, really beneficial to follow those posts. So Melissa says 1 post to say for the week to allow you more every time. Well, now, but only on, like, I can schedule posts ahead of time on the Psychic Academy Club. Like, I can put them all in to be scheduled for, each day, to come out each day. So, but then everybody would have to go to Psychic Academy Club page to view it, because I don't think that there's a capability on the personal page to schedule posts ahead. I know on the business page and the group page, there's that capability, but we don't have that capability on the other things. So anyway, big shout out to Yasmin Jadoon. Good to see you tonight. Hope you're doing okay. All right, let's get into EFT. And what is it? Has anybody heard of EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique? And does anybody do that? Shout out in the comments and let me know if you guys already know about EFT or you're already doing it. So let's see. Michael says over here on Instagram, they're filming a suspense thriller about a woman's struggle with domestic violence. That is going to be a really good show, and I'll leave a link to that on the personal page after the show. Yes, Peggy, I'm feisty. I didn't get this far without being feisty. Oh, speaking of being feisty, today is National Bourbon Day. Did y'all know that? I didn't know it till halfway through the day, and a friend of mine called it to my attention. I'm really quite ashamed that I didn't know it automatically. But I think this is Old Forester that I'm drinking tonight. And it is really flavorful, lots of vanilla, lots of caramel notes. It's very tasty. Thank you so much, Yasmin. But anyway, National Bourbon Day. So if you get a chance, try something really good tonight. So EFT is also called EFT tapping, or the tapping solution. Big shout out to Cindy Hall, my gal out there. Oh yes, Shannon's got Knob Creek. Good choice. Good choice. I see lots of marketing for the tapping solution, and they dropped Emotional Freedom Technique altogether, and it just says the tapping solution. And so, okay, Kevin. Oh, okay. So, Kevin, this is like a talk show where we go over specific topics, and tonight's topic is emotional freedom technique. I don't do readings over the Facebook or YouTube. This is a talk show just for self-help stuff, but I appreciate you tuning in. Hey to Angela Atkins. Okay, let's get into our topic. It is an alternate treatment for physical pain, emotional distress, and it's also referred to as psychological acupressure. Never heard of that before I did the research on this. I have referred several people through my sessions to EFT because maybe they couldn't afford acupuncture. Of course, I feel like acupuncture is one of the best treatments for energy disturbance of the body next to Reiki, but maybe the person couldn't afford that and needed some technique to do, and this seemed like a good alternative for them. So what is this? It's still being researched, but there's a lot of information that has already come back about the results of EFT, and it seems very positive. People who use this technique believe the body can create a balance in the energy system, balance and treat pain, not only physiological, but also psychological. And one of the theories, I'm not sure if I agree with this one quite completely, but according to its developer, and the person's name is Gary Craig, the disruption in the energy is the cause of all negative emotions and pain. Well, I'm not sure if I agree with that wholeheartedly, but that's the premise behind what this person is putting forward. It's similar. They're saying it's similar to acupuncture. I'm not sure if I agree with that completely either. I think it's a good adjunct, maybe, but I don't think it can be compared as a similar technique because I think that acupuncture is so much better at treating problems in the energy field in the body rather than this. But certainly this is a free technique to learn. It's quick, it's easy, and it's certainly anybody can use this. Okay, I don't know of any reason why you would not be able to use this. So EFT focuses on the meridian points and the energy flow in the body to restore balance to the body's energy. And so they believe that restoring this energy balance can relieve symptoms in a negative experience or emotion that caused the problem. Now, we all know that, traumatic stuff and a lot of emotional distress is stored in the cell membrane of your body. And, back in the day when we first started talking about this, and I think it was probably 30 years ago when we first started talking about cell memory, everybody was poo-pooing it and saying how that was a bunch of poppycock. And now we're finding out, by God, it is scientifically proven. So Cindy teaches it to her clients often too. And do you have good results with your clients, Cindy, in teaching them that? And so Cindy just had a knee replacement not too long ago, and she's saying that she used that and it helped her a lot after her knee replacement surgery. So this is something that I'm going to try to use after my surgery on Thursday. And I'm going to use it. In the past, I've used it for emotional, traumatic stuff, grief and loss. This will be the first time that I'm using it specifically for physical pain. And I think it's going to be a good test of whether or not it works for me to do it after I have the surgery done. Previous lives pain as well. Yes, because Melissa says previous lives pain as well, because those are some of the most locked in types of pain that can be addressed. Okay, so let's get further into this. Based on the Chinese medicine, meridian points are thought of as areas of the body that the energy flows through. And here's another interesting fact, is that, and I can leave a link to this in the show notes afterwards, but you can actually see on CAT scans the meridian flow, the meridian channels can actually be viewed on CAT scans now. So something that we've talked about, these meridian channels for over 3,000 years, are now we're able to visualize those on CAT scans. And if you want to look at those channels, you can just go to Google and Google CAT scans of meridian channels, and then hit images, and there will be a ton of pictures that come up that you can look at. Right, a lot of people are skeptical about it until they try it, and then they love it, is what Cindy is saying. Okay, so any imbalance can influence disease or sickness. That's pretty obvious. You know, when your energy is off, you're much more prone to having an illness or disease crop up. So EFT uses a fingertip tapping technique to apply pressure to these meridian points and meridian channels. So the proponents of this say the tapping helps you access your body's energy and send signals to the part of the brain that controls stress. Okay, that's really important. I think that one of the videos I watched about it specifically said that, and I don't know how true this is, maybe somebody who knows will chime in the comments or make a comment after the show, but one of the informational videos I watched on it said that the tapping actually stimulates the pituitary. So the meridian points through EFT tapping can reduce stress or negative emotion that you feel from whatever the issue is that has happened, ultimately restoring balance to your disrupted energy. Now we're going to go over the 5 tapping steps, and I really urge you guys that are wanting to learn this to use the link that I put in the comments for the video, because this guy shows you step by step how to do it, and it's so much better than I can show you. So the first thing that you want to do is identify the issue or the focal point of what's going on. Is it fear? Is it pain? Is it trauma? But you only want to focus on one problem or one focus area at a time. You really can't lump them all together and have an effective type of response. So focusing on one problem or one focal point at a time really enhances the efficacy or the outcome of this technique. Number 2 is to test the initial intensity. So you're going to want to kind of rate the problem on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst, and of course 1 being the least on the emotional or physical pain scale of discomfort that you feel from the focal issue or the focal point. So establishing what your benchmark is really important to whether or not this works for you. So, for example, if you felt like the intensity from the emotional pain was at an 8 when you started, and you reevaluated after the session that you do for yourself, and it's maybe a 5 afterwards, that's a pretty good drop in that intensity, and we would say that it accomplished the goal of relieving partially some of that pain. Number 3 is the setup. And that's where you're going to establish a phrase that explains what you're trying to address. This is the hard part for me. And I'm going to give you the example of what I'm going to do. So right now, okay, let's say I'm going to use myself as a guinea pig here for you guys. And ask me questions if you have any questions about it. But so right now I'm having anxiety over having surgery on Thursday. My anxiety, I'm going to rate at an 8. Okay. So I have tested the initial intensity, and my anxiety is at an 8 because I know that pain will be involved with the surgery. So acknowledging the issue, but I have to make up a statement that accepts myself despite the problem. So accepting myself despite the problem means that my statement is going to be that I know I'm going to be better and healed of cancer afterwards, because we're removing all the cancer. It's a stage 1, it's a FICO stage 1, and so everything will be gone. So my statement is, I have anxiety and dread with regard to the pain for this surgery, but I'm going to be better afterwards, and it is going to remove all the cancer. So those are my acknowledging the issue statement and accepting myself despite the problem. So here's another example of a setup phrase is, even though I have this fear, I deeply and completely accept myself. So that's another example. Now you can alter the phrase so that it fits your specific problem, but it can only address your problem, not somebody else's problem. For example, let's say your mother is sick and you're having anxiety or pain about that situation. You cannot say, even though my mother is sick, I deeply and completely accept myself, because that has to do with her, not you. So you have to focus on how the problem makes you feel in order to relieve the distress that it's causing. So a better statement for this would be, even though I'm sad or even though I'm anxious my mother is sick, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, so for me, the hardest part of the tapping technique is getting this. Okay, now let's try. Any sound now? Let's see, any sound now? Can somebody let me know if there's any sound now? Because I changed some of the settings to, okay, great. Yasmin, do you have sound? Okay, good deal. Phew, that's a good thing I guessed correctly. Yay! Okay, because I really want you guys to get this information. Okay, back to that. The EM tapping sequence is the methodic tapping on the ends of the 9 meridian points. Now, so people are always asking, how long should I tap? And through the research I've done, a good 8 seconds. So just count to 8 as you tap. Okay, so now there are 12 major meridians that mirror each side of the body and correspond to internal organs. However, this EFT technique only focuses on 9. Why? I don't know. They did not explain it in the research. One of the areas is right here. They call that the karate chop area, the top of the head, the eyebrow, the side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, the chin, the collarbone right here, and like 4 inches under the arm on each side. Now, and it wasn't really clear from the research I did if you tapped on one side of the body or both, but through watching the videos on this, what they show on that is you start with the left-hand side of the body and then go to the right. They're treating on the video both sides of the body, which I think really makes a lot of sense. So you begin tapping while simultaneously reciting your setup phrase. Okay. And you recite your setup phrase 3 times while you're tapping. And remember, you're going to tap 8 times or 8 seconds. Each tap is followed by this 8 seconds, moving down the body in this order. So this is the order that they suggest that you do, which is you begin with the karate chop area. On the video, they show starting with the left-hand side of the body and then doing the right. So you would start on the left and go to the right, tap, and then say your setup phrase 3 times. And then you would move to the other areas of the body. The other areas of the body, the sequence they're giving here is eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, and then under the arm. So that's the sequence that they give. After tapping the underarm point, then they end with tapping on the top of the head. Now, while you're doing this and you're reciting 3 times your setup phrase, that's when you start to get and feel the relief. Recite the phrase at each tapping point and repeat the sequence 2 to 3 times. So I really recommend that my clients repeat it twice because, you know, we're busy people. It's hard to do this 3 times, to go through that, to take the time out to do that. So I only really suggest twice. And I think, you know, if it's not working after 2 times, one more time to me is not going to make too much more difference. Then the last step of this is to test the final intensity, because you remember you tested the initial intensity. So you're going to rate again how you're feeling. What's the intensity level on that scale from 1 to 10? On your feeling about that full point that you initially did your intensity level on. It's a really, really easy technique to learn, you guys, and I'm going to try it, and I'll let you know what my results are for physical pain. I know that Cindy said she had great results after her knee replacement. I really hope I do too. Ina says, as far as acupuncture, what treatment do you ask for as far as anxiety or depression? So when you go to an acupuncturist, they're going to analyze your body energy. And it's really, I think it's different for each person because the body energy is almost like a fingerprint for, yourself. And the different areas, there may be totally different areas off in me as far as anxiety goes, uh, that would be off in you, Ina. So let's say, and let's use us as an example, Ina. My anxiety is stemming from clearly the surgery on Thursday. And so, my focus or my anxiety is really kind of directed down to the uterus because I'm having a hysterectomy. And so my anxiety and the energy there is off. Obviously, the energy here is off, the energy here is off. Your anxiety or your focal point may be related to something totally different that throws off another energy part of your body. So I think it's going to be acupuncture treatment will be totally different for each person that goes in for the anxiety or depression type of treatment. I do suggest acupuncture for people who are experiencing loss and unresolvable grief because I feel like the heart chakra can either be so inflamed or, be off to such an extent that it has a hard time rebalancing. And so I think acupuncture is one of the most valuable things for people to have done after a loss or after extreme grief or after any kind of major trauma. Let's talk about some of the things that are going on with EFT because they're doing a lot of studies about EFT. It is an evidence-based self-help therapeutic method. There have been over 100 studies that have been done on EFT to try to establish the efficacy of this technique. And they are finding through this evidence-based practice and study that it is doing a lot of good for the following things. People found a 40% lowering in depression, a 35% improvement in post-traumatic stress disorder, a 32% improvement in pain levels. They're also using this for dieting, for weight loss. People are having almost a 60% reduction in the amount of cravings that they experience due to dieting and whatnot. A 75% increase in happiness reported from people who use EFT. To me, these are great statistics. They are also finding the mechanisms of action with EFT is one of the main actions is across the central nervous system. They're measuring heart rate variability, heart coherence, the circulatory system like resting heart rate, blood pressure, endocrine system. They're also using this to track cortisol levels and finding an extreme decrease in the amount of cortisol stress hormone that's being released. It's also being tracked with immune system response, which is, that's really important right now with, what's circulating around and around the world. So can't say the word or they'll ban my video off of YouTube. But it's a really good, simple, easy technique to use. I will definitely let you guys know what my experience with it is. And now next Monday night, I will not be here. I may jump on for a minute on my phone just so that you guys can see me and see that I'm okay. And we might talk about something and I might let you ask me some personal questions. How about that? How about a Q&A next Monday night from my couch?
I'll try not to be in my pajamas. I'll tell David to put a real shirt on me or something, and maybe let him put some lipstick on me or something. Then it'll be everywhere. But I really appreciate you guys every Monday night, and so hopefully I can jump on for a few minutes and chat with y'all. Maybe do a quick Q&A, and you guys can ask me some personal stuff, and I'll give you some personal answers. You guys have a fabulous week. If you get a chance, say a little prayer for me on Thursday. Send me some good love and hugs. And I will let you guys know how I did and what's going on. I'm sure David will make a post. So just check my page. And yeah, let me know. More people need to let me know how you want the daily posts. So far, only Melissa has said she wants them all lumped together. So I can do that, and that way you guys have a weekly forecast there. But I will see you guys later. Kisses from Kentucky. Bye, guys.